The last part of the experiment of mechanical advantage is involving something called block and tackle, but it's basically a set of pulleys. And we're going to start with a simple pulley. And you're going to be seeing the same theme. I'm hoping you're going to see that from the three different cases we looked at. It's the same theme of an input force, an output force, an input distance, and an output distance. If you can get the hang of that and start seeing that, you'll see that if one of the forces increases over the other one, then the distance over which it's going to have to be pulled is lower than the other one. That's the kind of thing that happens in mechanical advantage. Let me show you the case for a basic single pulley. That's up here. We played with pulleys a little bit before in my class. And what I'm going to do is I have 550 grams here. That's 5.4 newtons of weight that I'm going to be pulling with a force probe here, force sensor. And I'm going to see how high it moves up. And at the same time, I'm going to see how low the force sensor moves when I pull it. All right, so force sensor starts with a hook here at 23 centimeters. When I pull it down to 10 centimeters, raise 13 centimeters, and the weight raised 13 centimeters. So the opposing distance and the actual distance that I pulled are identical, 13 centimeters in both cases. And the amount of force that it took the pulley to do that was about, looks like when I'm pulling it, about 5.5 newtons. Okay, so I can put that in my spreadsheet here that I've been working on with you. That the input force that was required of me for the single pulley, which is this type, it's the Roman numeral 1 that we're looking at here, 5.5 newtons. The input force displacement was 0.13 meters or 13 centimeters. The output force displacement was 0.13 meters or 13 centimeters also. The next one I'm going to work with is the single movable pulley. So how does that work? I'm going to take this off, and what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to hang the string from here. Okay, and I'm going to hang the weight on the pulley once I have to thread the pulley, so I'm going to do that. It's tricky with only one person, but with social isolation, it's hard to find a lab mate here to help me with this stuff. I'm not sure my family would have the patience for doing this either. They might. They have other things they're working on, so it's all me right now. I'll do the best I can. So here's our single movable pulley. The pulley can move now too. So watch this. I can lift up here. It actually, this is 550 grams, half a kilogram, but I don't feel like I have to lift as hard as I would if I were just lifting this up. Kind of cool, actually. It's taking me less force to do that, to lift what I would normally take to lift it up. And I can actually measure that here and measure the corresponding distances that I'm having to pull it. But I want to tie it off so it doesn't fall on me. Some extra string here, which is all right. Better too much than not enough. Okay, so this now has access to the movable pulley. And as I move it up, wow, I'm looking at, you can't really see it probably, but I'm looking at about, oh, my eyesight isn't so good, about, 3 newtons. It's about 3 newtons of force to pull it up. And let me see if I can make a measurement of distance. If I pull this up 10 centimeters, the bottom part of the hook here is at 26. I want to pull it up 10 centimeters and see how far the bottom part of the hook goes. It was at 26, and now it's at 46. So when this pulled up 10 centimeters, the bottom part of the hook here pulled up 20 centimeters. and it has a 3 Newton force there. That's everything we need to know to put the information we need into the spreadsheet. So this here, input force is 3 newtons. Displacement force is 10 centimeters, or 0.1 meters. And the displacement of the output force, which was me, I think I'm the output. I'm sorry, I'm the input. The biggest part where I get confused is which is the input, which is the output. It's really just a matter of definition, but I want to stay consistent. That's where I get a little stuck. So I'm fixing that. All right. All right, I am going to do the same thing now for the third case of the pulley systems we're working with, which is block and tackle, a simple one. In this case, we have a single fixed pulley and a single movable pulley. And this is a lot like the case where we just had the movable pulley, except now instead of pulling up, I can pull down to get this to pull up. Remember earlier I had to pull it up with the single movable pulley. But because of this pulley here, I can actually get to pull down. So I'm using the same mass here, 550 grams, which is 5.4 newtons. And I'm going to pull, and it should be similar force as I had earlier. Yeah, about 3 newtons force to pull it. And let's see, when I pull it up 10 centimeters, let's see how far down my force probe pulls. So in other words, my output versus my input distances. So I'm going to pull this up 10 centimeters. And I'm initially here at 46 centimeters. So I pull it down 10 centimeters. I was at 46, now I'm about at 26. All right, so a 20 centimeter pull here, 10 centimeter pull there, and a 3 Newton force. So I'm going to enter that in the spreadsheet. Okay, so case 3 is right here, 3.0 newtons. And my input distance that I pulled was 20 centimeters or 0.2 meters. And again, this one went up 10 centimeters or 0.1 meters. All right. One more to go. In my mind, this one is the most exciting case. Look at this. You have 3 gang pulleys, 1 piece of string. One of these is fixed, the other one is movable. But basically you have 6 strings in here, plus this one, but all 1 string. But they're all supporting this same 550 gram mass right here. And you already see this thing's pretty light, this scale here, but it practically is balancing this. So it doesn't take much force at all to lift this. Isn't that amazing? I can do almost nothing here. Look at this in my sleep and lift this heavier mass right there. How much force does it take to get it to lift? Let me see here. Wow. We're talking, remember it's 5.4 newtons here that I'm lifting. Whoop, this came off this wrong here. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. All right, let me see if I can come up with a value of force there. Looks about to me about 2 newtons, maybe 1.8 newtons, slightly less than 2 newtons is what I'm pulling with here when I'm lifting the 5.4 newton force up here. All right, so let's say about 1.8 newtons. Now what's the distance I have to pull this to raise this? Gosh, there it goes again. The distance, I'm just going to go with a 5 centimeter distance here because it, see how far I'm pulling it? I don't even know if I could raise it 10 centimeters and measure that much distance with the amount of ruler I have here. But let me see, I'm at 60 right here. I can't even make it to get this to the ground because the string is unlimited in string length here, even though the string is really long. takes so much string to do this. So I'm going to start this with being at 60 here, and this one here is at about 10. All right, so when that's at 60, this is at about 10. 9.7, let's say. I don't think I have that good a measurement. I'll say 9.5. Okay, so 60 and 9.5. I'm going to make this go up to, let's say, 14.5 if I can. There's 14.5. And this went down to 29. So this moved 31 centimeters when this moved 5 centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to write that down in the spreadsheet. (0.31 meters, 0.05 meters. And this I got, I think I said 1.8 newtons or so. All right, this was the last case. Now go ahead and calculate the IMA and the AMA and the efficiency for this. What you're going to see is you're going to get efficiencies. You should never get efficiencies in any of these cases that are greater than 1 or greater than 100%. You're never going to have efficiencies in real life that are even equal to 100%. You might get something close. Sometimes, like for the single pulley, you might get something close to that. But you're never going to get, even though it's easy to pull this down, you're actually still putting more energy in than you are getting up by lifting this guy here. There's a few reasons for that. One of them is the fact that you're lifting these too. That's kind of an overhead expense. You have to lift this up to lift this up. So you're going to lose some efficiency. If you're thinking of your efficiency as just the weight you're lifting here versus the weight I'm pulling here, I'm neglecting the fact that I'm having to pull up, well, at least this guy here. This one's fixed, it's being held, but this one's being pulled up by the strings also. So it's something, it's kind of a cost I have to bear in order to do this. So that's going to drop my efficiency a little bit. And there's other reasons too. You can have friction in the bearings and other things that are going to make your efficiency less than 1. But in some cases, it's going to be more or less than 1 than in other cases. Okay, with that, I think you'll be able to answer the rest of the questions and do the calculations in the lab. Of course, contact your lab instructors or me if you have any problems. Good luck.